First of all, thank you so much for taking your time. Let me ask you some questions. First of all, about what inspired you to stay as the most company strategist at SAC?
I think it's really the experience I've had over the last 5-7 years as a product partner at EQT, where I went into over 150 portfolio companies. And every time I was pulled in, it was because there was a product problem, right? Quote unquote product problem. Our strategy or our roadmap isn't working. We're not delivering fast enough. It's too slow. And every single time it basically came back to the strategy either isn't clear or it's not good enough, right? And I think those are the two big challenges. Like even some companies, they have a great strategy, but they haven't communicated it to the organization, so they don't know what they should be doing. Or often, sadly, they don't have a clear strategy. They're trying to do everything at once. So that's why I think most strategies suck, and we can do a lot better.
Okay, thank you so much. And what's the first thing team should fix if their strategy is not working on the first class?
I think the biggest thing is starting to make choices, right? I think the biggest thing for a good strategy is that you're making choices. You're saying yes to some things and no to other things, whether it's what market you're going after, what product you're going to build. Like you have to start making choices. And at the team level, at the company level, that's where you should start. But if you're at the team level and you feel like that's too scary, like you don't want to go challenge your leadership or it's too scary to start talking about strategy, I think thinking about principles can be a really good way to do that, right? So those even over statements of like, we care about job seekers, even over recruiters, or like Shopify says, we care about sellers, even over buyers, right? It really emphasizes a strategic view on this is what's most important. This is what's going to get us growth. This is what's going to get us product adoption. And it helps all the decisions after that suddenly be easier because you have made a choice, right?
Okay. How can small or tech teams create a clear strategy without big resources?
I think that's the same thing, right? It's starting small and thinking big. Like we don't have to think about strategy as this like big project that we do and like it lasts for 5 years and like it doesn't have to be a big thing. We can start small. Like what's the decisions in front of us? How do we make a better decision between A or B? Just start thinking more strategically about it. What's the input that we have? What's the data that we have? The evidence that we have that one is better than the other? Is there a principle there that we can decide actually consistently, yeah, A is probably more important than B? Like start small and think big. And that's strategic thinking. And I think that's what I want to empower teams to just do more, right? It doesn't have to be a big, scary thing. You don't have to wait for leadership to create the strategy. You can do it yourself with your team, with your designers and engineers, and still have a better outcome.
Okay, thank you so much. For your opinion, what's the biggest mistake founders make when setting company vision, company strategy?
So I think on vision, I think there's probably two sides. One big mistake is putting the solution in the vision. Like we're going to build the best possible job board, right? Because that's kind of a solution, not a vision. I think the other one is usually, not putting the customer in your vision. So thinking about we're going to be the biggest and best X, right? That's kind of a very common vision that you see out there. But that's all about you as a company, right? And that's all about a solution. I think the most important thing with a vision is that you should fall in love with a problem. And so we're going to, help a customer, this kind of customer solve this kind of problem. That should be the vision. And then your strategy is actually how are you going to do that? And that gives you a lot more flexibility, right? An example is I was a co-founder of Mind the Product, a conference for product people. And our vision that we created together with our team was to make product people more successful. And that means we can do a lot of things, right? We can do conferences, we can do training. And then the pandemic came along and we can't do those things and we can do other things, but we're still solving the same vision, right? We're still solving the same customer problem. So it gives you that big vision, that big flexibility. And it's also more purposeful, right? It's more exciting for teams to work on. Oh, I'm helping make product people more successful is a lot more exciting than I'm building the biggest conference in the world. Like who really cares about that, right? If you're just on the team. So I think those are some of the things around vision that I think I would encourage founders to think about.
Okay. In terms of mobile development or even Flutter, if you know, how can the teams, so small even teams, align daily work with the long-term strategy?
Yeah. I think it's just consistently checking in, right? I think so often we get stuck in our roadmap and we have all these features we want to build and we kind of so focused on the day-to-day that we just don't zoom out, right? So I think that's the thing, is just every once in a while, and it doesn't have to be every week or every 2 weeks, but like zoom out and check, like, do these still make sense? Is this still what's the best way to help us achieve our goals? And are those goals still the best way to achieve the strategy? Just ask that question every once in a while. And I think as a team leader, bring that conversation in every time. Like, yep, okay, we have our roadmap. Is this still the best way to solve this problem? Because we've learned new things, right? We've talked to customers, we've tried stuff, we have new data, we have new evidence. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's a better way to solve that problem. Maybe there's a better way to achieve that goal. So I think just consistently like zooming out and asking like, is this still the most important thing? instead of just going like, okay, well, the next year we're just going to execute this roadmap, right? Because then you're just heading in one direction. You don't know if it's the right direction.
Okay, it's something like about consistent revises, yes, from the team. And do you think there should be regular, like monthly or quarterly, or even once a year? So how frequently we need?
I think so. It a little bit depends on the stage or the maturity of the product. I think if it's a very new product, you almost want to be checking in every 2 weeks or something like that, right? Because like we've learned a lot, right? Hopefully you're talking to customers every day. You're looking at data every day. The idea, the assumption, the hypothesis that you had a week ago is probably completely different now, right? Because you learn new things, so you have to challenge it a lot more often. I think as your product gets more mature and you're into optimization and things like that, then maybe quarterly is usually a good cadence, or at least every 6 months. But I think quarterly to check in, like, are we still and stuff? You know, I think people get scared of that because like, oh my God, we have to do a strategy thing every quarter. No, it's checking in. Like, are we still on the right path? And often the answer is, yep, we're all good. Okay, that's a 20-minute meeting, right? But sometimes it's like, oh, hang on a minute. No, we've learned something new. There's new evidence. We should challenge it. And then maybe you do have to spend more work. But the work doesn't happen every quarter, right? But the check-in has to.
Okay, thank you so much. In fast project, how we can balance innovation and consistent direction?
I think again, it's setting the right level for those things, right? So having the right level of vision that's very open. Strategy is a little bit more like, this is how we're going to achieve it, and then the opportunities you're looking at. I think that gives you the consistency, but also flexibility to be like, actually, again, innovation comes along, AI comes along, mobile comes along. There's a different way to solve this customer problem. We're still headed towards the same thing. We're still solving the same thing for the customer. We're just doing it in a different way. So I think it's having that balance in the stack of having a very clear vision and strategy and objectives, and then being very flexible with the opportunities as new things come along or new opportunities come along. And again, if you're constantly checking in, then you have that opportunity to be like, actually, wait, you know, there's this new LLM that came along. We can do this completely differently. We can throw out this assumption, you know, do this in a better way, but you're still focused on that long-term goal, right? Okay. What's one sign that team truly has to grid strategy, not just a big goals, not just something big? I think it's clarity of choices, right? So having very clearly said, this is the customer that we're focused on, this is the market that we're focused on, and we're not going to do these things. I think that's a very good sign that there's a good strategy, because they've made the choices and they are focused on something. I think fundamentally strategy is about focus. We can't do everything that we want to do, so we have to focus. I think the other way to think about it is, you know, I often talk about saying no, but really it's about saying not yet. It's about a sequence. So it's like, okay, right now, this is the most important. Like, we're going to go for Romania, this type of customer, and we're building this product. And then when we get to a certain point where we feel like we have product market fit, then we're going to go to Hungary next, or we're going to go to all of Eastern Europe, or whatever that next is. That's fine. You can have those decisions. But then in the immediate term, the team knows we just care about Romania. We just care about this thing. And once we do a really, really good job there, then it's easier to start adding on either new customers or new products or new markets, right? So I think that's the biggest thing, just clear decisions and clear focus.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, and I have something for you. Like chocolate.
Oh, thank you so much. Amazing. Hope that's helpful. Let me know when it's live.
Okay, I will let you know in LinkedIn. Okay, great. So thank you for your time.